All right. Welcome, everybody, back to the Rice Report, our conversation series. Today, we are joined by Reid Rasner again. Such an important conversation right now. Not many people are talking about TikTok. It seems to be one of those topics that fades in and out of the conversation, much like Meta and Google and some of these other things could definitely be considered public utilities in the private sector. But there is an ongoing push right now for acquisition. Donald Trump has put it on the forefront of saying we don't want a Chinese spy tool in America. We need an American version of TikTok. And Reid is dead center in the middle of that acquisition strategy. So, Reid, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you, my friend? Good to see you again.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad to be here. So TikTok is the center of my universe right now. I can tell you that.
You and every other teenager in the world. But you are on the right side of things. You're right there. Now, you are in the middle of an acquisition strategy. This is becoming very competitive in the market. This is one of those acquisitions that's very heralded right now. So let us know what the process looks like right now and what the anticipation is on your end.
Well, we're negotiating with ByteDance and the administration, and ultimately it comes down to President Trump giving us the thumbs up and the green light. But truly, he's got so many different things happening right now geopolitically when we talk about China and the things happening with tariffs and everything that President Trump has on his plate with debt reconciliation and everything happening domestically, but also geopolitically, like I said. So there's a lot of stuff happening, and China has to tell ByteDance it's okay to sell, and the United States has to greenlight whatever buyer it is that they choose. We've certainly made the best offer out there. So our offer is nearly $50 billion. We've raised, I think we've overraised right now, the capital needed for this. We're going to have a clean break on the algorithm from China. We're going to relocate it right here to the United States in the mountain Midwest. It's going to make a massive economic footprint for these states, up to $1 trillion footprint. It's going to truly stabilize these economies. And we're donating 5% of our offer back to the United States government to establish President Trump's sovereign wealth fund. I'm calling it the Freedom Fund. So the Freedom Fund will be established with our 5% gift. It's going to allow the United States government to buy up to 15% more at the $50 billion valuation, regardless of the valuation moving forward. Even if it's $100 billion, $200 billion, $1 trillion, it won't matter. They'll be able to buy in up to 15% at that $50 billion valuation. So this is truly doing a lot of really great things for President Trump, solidifying that already amazing legacy that he's built, and truly giving him something that when he leaves office, it's going to be an amazing generational change for all Americans and leave a lasting impact for a long time. So we're excited, and we're fighting 24/7 to make it happen. A lot of moving parts, a lot of regulators involved. Very difficult process, but we're excited to be part of it.
50 billion. So 50 billion would basically make this acquisition the largest M&A transaction probably of the year. This is a huge deal, guys. Huge deal. And 5% or going directly into the sovereign wealth fund. Amazing. 15% buy-in later, so you're locking in the price for the sovereign wealth fund to be able to say you get to 100 billion, they'll double their money immediately and provide profits for the American people.
That's right.
Now, can you talk about the partners that are involved and who's involved? 50 billion is quite a capital raise. Holy moly.
Well,
so I imagine you guys have been up all night, every night, talking to people on the phone, getting this thing done.
It's a mountain. Let me tell you what, we're moving mountains. That's for sure. So a lot of private equity. It's called private equity for a reason. There are 5 main partners in this. I happen to be one of them, and I'm the face of this, the CEO. I have the greatest group of mega American first patriots putting this together with me. It's a heavy lift. And the investors involved coming through private equity are amazing American first. This is going to be American owned and American run, for America, by Americans. We're excited about it. We're not going to talk about the actual investors. It's private equity for a reason.
Sure.
But once they say that we can say their name out loud, we certainly will. They're amazing people. You're all going to be very excited on those announcements. And, very recently, Governor Roden of South Dakota endorsed our proposal and said, Reid, we want TikTok in South Dakota. We want to be part of this. So he's truly a visionary, leading the way for these mountain Midwest states. And as soon as he did that, I'm telling you what, our phones lit up, and governors from all over the country, state senators, U.S. congressmen, U.S. senators, they're all calling us. Everyone's starting to fight for their states. We are the American first offer. We are the people's offer, and we're going to deliver TikTok to the American people in a very big way for President Trump. And that's what's so exciting about this. And again, the partners involved in this are American loving patriots, just like I am. And we're truly fighting day in and day out for all of you. So it's a really great thing that's happening.
Well, and there's a lot of I had a interview on here with Tiffany Cianci about private equity, and there's a lot of bad things in private equity. But as I said in the interview multiple times, there are plenty of good, really good private equity groups out there. So hopefully that's the right play. I trust you in that capacity because I know you're the right guy. If you guys want an American TikTok, Reid's the guy. So if there's a chance to vote on that, I would absolutely do it because he bleeds red, white, and blue. And more importantly, to get this deal done, I'm a deal guy myself, and 50 billion, you're going to need big players involved in this. And I don't think people understand the relevancy and how much economic impact TikTok would have, especially in the age of AI. You're talking about providing jobs at a time where some of these people would be losing them in other areas. This is a really big M&A transaction for this country. So first and foremost, so happy it's you. So happy it's you. I hope to God that this goes through for you because what a cool opportunity to be able to take over an existing brand with that type of global recognition, and you'll have some control over it. Is that part of the contract? Like you'll be able to modify code and be able to do some of the data restrictions and things like that. Is that part of the deal?
Yeah. So the days of your content being restricted, suppressed, or banned, or any of that are over. It is a free speech platform. As long as your speech is protected speech, you will have a right to voice your opinions there. We're going to implement something similar to community notes across there. So you're free to lie, but you're not you're not free to spread propaganda. That's for sure. So there will be a community notes section that pops up for anyone who says anything that's provably false, but you can still have a place for your voice there. You just you'll have a place for free speech. You're not going to get banned. You're not going to get suppressed. It's going to be a very wonderful thing. The TikTok shop is going to thrive. You're going to be able to run your businesses. The AI advancements and how we're protecting your data and implementing AI for video editing. And we've partnered with Adlay. That's already been publicly announced. Adlay came out very early to help house and store the data and protect the data to the strictest possible standards using an AI model that they already have and we're enhancing. So that's really exciting. And again, the economic footprint is up to upwards of $1 trillion. So when we look at these Mountain West states and the Midwest flyover country, they call us right here in America, we rely on agriculture, energy, and tourism. And to stabilize these economies and take us out of this boom and bust cycle, anyone who lives in these realizes our economies rely on these, and it's like a 10-year boom and bust cycle. This will stabilize the economies, establishing a fourth legacy industry for all of the states involved. So Governor Larry Roden of South Dakota is truly a visionary, looking generations down the line at this, to quantum computing, to his South Dakota School of Engineering and Mines. Wyoming has great quantum computing. Iowa has amazing high-speed internet and they have one of the fastest internet speeds in all of America. So we look at these states and we look at what's going on. There are things happening in America, and this is truly the golden age of America, especially in technology, that no other country can compete with. And we are going to protect our intellectual property using quantum computing that is developed right here in America by Americans, and make sure that no foreign country will ever breach those walls again and use your data against you in a nefarious purpose. It's very exciting in how we're monetizing and bringing this about to stabilize these economies across the country.
That's important. And most people don't know about the high-speed internet in Iowa. That's kind of a well-known, right-in-your-face secret. There are plenty of financial firms and trading firms that are looking at relocating to Iowa specifically for the internet speed. So there are things happening in this country people don't realize because Reid, it's impossible to keep up with everything that's happening right now. So you just brought about a very good topic that Iowa is kind of being, this is a Democrat word, I hate using it, but it's being reimagined. Right, we're seeing Iowa in a different way. I'm from the Midwest, flyover states. You got Chicago, Omaha is the home of communications. We kind of all know that. Everything else on that drive, that 8-hour drive, is just completely vacant and farmlands. But we're seeing high-speed internet. We're seeing high-speed Wi-Fi. We're seeing financial firms moving trading platforms there for advancements on speed for trading. But I think the biggest thing you talked about there is $1 trillion economic impact. Break that down for us. How do we break down $1 trillion economic impact?
Wow. Well, it's going to be across many states. So the infrastructure alone involved, and the economic impact that we're going to bring for generations to come. I mean, when you look at high-speed internet, quantum computing, the AI research, your universities, and the jobs that we're creating across multiple states in all of these different fields. These aren't just jobs. These are high-paying careers that you'll be able to grow with and retire out of, and your grandkids will be able to do. One of the most important parts to pieces of the puzzle that no one ever talks about in these mountain Midwest states is that young people end up leaving these states and going to the left coast or going out east or to Chicago. They go to these other states in search of higher paying jobs. With this opportunity, they're going to be able to stay in the states that they were born and raised in. They're going to be able to have a high paying job and contribute to society, making these states even greater and stronger than they already are in these fields. They're going to be able to raise their family with the same values that they were raised with. Just that alone, being able to have your kids and your grandkids right here in the same state, you no longer have to travel for the holidays and do all of these things, and you can go on vacations together. You're going to be able to live, survive. You're going to be able to thrive in these markets and these economies. That alone is going to be a massive piece to the $1 trillion economy that we create. But along with the infrastructure, and that's from the ground up, from the data centers and building all of this out, the construction. When we look at broadband and fiber optic and communications and telecommunication infrastructure, satellite infrastructure, you can go across the board with the infrastructure that's going to come to these states that get involved. And it's a massive impact. And I'll tell you, the Chamber of Commerce for darn near all of these states has been reaching out. Business alliances, small business communities, they understand the impacts, and governors have been reaching out. The impact is massive. The electrical grid, just getting the electrical grid beefed up enough and making sure we have enough electricity and cheap, reliable Wyoming energy is going to be at the center of all of this. Our clean coal, our liquid natural gas, our new nuclear technologies. There's so much benefit to these states that it's just tremendous in so many ways, whether it's energy, agriculture, tourism. I don't know that there's a piece of the economy that this isn't going to touch. And so when I say $1 trillion, it's a massive footprint that's going to stabilize these states and the economies that already exist there. It's going to benefit the people in a great way, a very big way. And we're truly in the golden age of America, like President Trump said.
When you touched on a topic there that you can talk about the $1 trillion impact, but the ability to stay home is really one of the big things that I take from that, because when we start getting these businesses back in America and people can have high paying jobs in Iowa and Wyoming, and you're 100% right. I'm one of them, right? So I went to the West Coast as part of my life to find higher paying opportunities. But we have lost culture in this country. We have lost our culture. There are very few pockets in the country still have a local culture. But I was on a Twitter space the other day, and I was talking about this. I said, what is the American culture? What is it? And no one can answer the question. It's been so blended.
Yeah.
So having that opportunity to be able to raise a family and make a lot of money and stay where your family is really important for the future of this country. So that's a really big topic. I'm glad you touched on that, because almost no one brings that up. And right now, that is the problem in America. We have, there was a second high school stabbing yesterday. We have kids stabbing each other in high school right now. Our culture is broken. And part of that is because we have broken families that have to leave their nuclear family to go to a different place for better opportunities. So, Reid, great topic to touch on there. How many bids are against you right now? Like, how many people are actually vying for this acquisition of TikTok?
I don't know how many are vying. We have 0 bids against us because we are the largest bid and we are the greatest bid. We are the only American first bid, and we're the only bid that follows the letter of the law and demanding a clean break of the algorithm from China, where the other bids are requesting a license back from China. And, that's just not going to fly. Congress won't allow that. Congress voted for the legislation. The administration signed the legislation, our last administration, and the Supreme Court upheld that legislation in a 9-0 vote, saying that it has to be a clean break from China with that algorithm, and the app is worthless without the algorithm. So a clean break doesn't include a licensing agreement with China for that algorithm. So China has to give us the algorithm. ByteDance is ready to sell. They are still going to retain 20% ownership, but they won't have any controlling interest and they won't have access to that algorithm. So ours is the only actual offer on the table that I feel is legitimate for the very purpose that it provides a clean break from China, which is the entire root of all of the problems that we're having with TikTok. They're using this in nefarious ways against us, including espionage, and uh,
Mm-hmm.
and how they're manipulating that algorithm and manipulating you to think certain ways. And it's stunning what they're actually doing when you start looking at the algorithm and seeing the security reports that we see. And it's actually quite shocking. So a clean break from China has to happen. No other offer is giving that. So however
Wow.
many other offers are out there, I don't know. I know that we are the largest offer monetarily, and we are the American first offer, the only American first offer, and we're the only offer that is demanding a clean break of the algorithm from China. Uh, and we have a full infrastructure in place ready to go. We've outlined our plan in great detail over the past several months, and how we're going to develop and enhance the company. No one else is doing this. They're just acquiring the company, it sounds like. Nothing will change
Mm.
once they get it. It'll be a holding company for China and America is what it'll end up being.
Wow, let's go. That's awesome. That is awesome. Imagine what happens when TikTok's so prevalent, right? Like every kid has it. I would say 80% of adults have it now too, which is kind of shocking. But almost everyone has this in their phone, in their pocket right now. And the algorithm, for those of you who don't know, if you check the algorithm for young people in America, they're being fed Tide Pod challenges, milk crate walks, all this stuff. And then you look at the Chinese feed to their kids, and they're about math and algebra and physics. And so having Americans in charge of that, especially America First Americans, puts us in a position where our youth will actually be their feed will actually be advantageous to their future, which is so important to be able to use tools like this to enlighten young minds, to inspire young minds to do great things. This is really exciting, Reid. I got to say, this is awesome.
So, about our youth, when they have the app in front of their face, anyone who is 18 years or younger will not even have access to the same TikTok they do today. It will be completely STEM focused. They won't be able to post videos, and they won't be able to engage with the creators who are posting those videos. And the creators will go through a very, very strict process before those videos are posted, ensuring that the quality of those videos are STEM focused, so science, technology, engineering, mathematics. And so anyone 18 years or younger will be faced with that side of the algorithm, that zero engagement and only educational content will be posted that's been through a very rigorous and strict vetting process before it gets posted. So it'll be very exciting for the youth of America. They'll love it, and it'll be safe for them. They won't be able to engage in anything. Anyone who's 18 and older will then have access to uh, the regular TikTok that they know, they love. They want that addictive algorithm. They want to make their content. They want to make money on their content. They want to use the TikTok shop and affiliate sales. They want these things. So they'll have access to that. But children will no longer be put in harm's way under Reisner Media's TikTok plan. That's for sure.
I love it. I love it. I don't know if the kids will love it, but
Right.
they're going to love it in the end
They'll learn
because
well.
that's right. Well, I mean, the problem is, like, learning is awesome, and at their ages right now, I have two kids, and I see this stuff all the time. At their ages, they just want to waste. It's just wasting time. They're just they call it doom scrolling. They're just doom scrolling all day with these worthless videos that provide no value to society. It's so exciting to hear this revolution, because this is a complete boomerang, right? We are literally boomeranging China. This is what China does. The Chinese youth get that STEM feed, and that's
Yep.
why you're watching their education numbers jump through the roof. Actually, happiness levels there are improving. I won't say they're good. They're still in a communist country, and you can't trust the reporting. But imagine what happens when American kids, when our kids, who are very intelligent children, they're just unchallenged. They're unchallenged at school. They're unchallenged in society. They're not forced to work or do things anymore. Reid, this is amazing. This is amazing. But we're going to move on from this topic, because I'm sure you've been talking about it since 3 a.m. So I'm sure you're probably exhausted of it. Let's get into the markets, because that's what your day job is. That's what soon to be your former job is, in the markets. We're seeing some crazy correlations out there that just don't make any sense to people, right? We watched a little mini sell-off in gold, profit being taken in gold, a jump in Bitcoin and crypto. We're seeing the markets really kind of steadily decline. It looks like a very clean sell-off to me, which looks structured and organized, which is a good thing for investors. But we're watching the 10-year and the 30-year yield, 30s, about to touch 5%. People are rejecting the tariff idea a couple weeks into it. These are processes that take a year to see an impact. And that was the first thing I said when tariffs came out, is like, it's going to be bumpy. You're going to have to give it some time. They're going to have to adjust taxation or eliminate taxation. What are you seeing in the marketplace from that hat? To take off the TikTok hat, put on the money manager hat. What are you seeing in the markets right now?
I keep telling people markets are reactionary, and normal everyday people need to stay non-reactionary and continue on with their long-term plans and their long-term objectives. Listen, if you're always focusing on the short term, you're never going to achieve your long-term goals. And that's a fact in anything in life, but especially in the markets. The tariffs have short-term implications, but long-term effects. So let them happen and let free market prevail. And that's exactly what's happening. As President Trump has levied tariffs, countries have come back and said, hey, we'll go to zero if you go to zero. And President Trump has said, absolutely, let's go to zero. Zero's best. Everyone's zero. You can buy our stuff for $1. We'll buy your stuff for $1. It's level. It's equal. There's no difference here. So everyone but China. China seems to be the only one that's not playing along here and doesn't want to have free trade. And unfortunately for them, we're going to bring manufacturing back here to America in a very big fashion. Apple has announced a $500 billion investment. They're already moving stuff out of China to India. So when you look geopolitically, President Trump's plan is already winning. But markets are reactionary. So for all of your viewers, and I don't know the demographics of age of your viewers, markets are reactionary. So keep a long-term focus. This is why we do financial planning, and this is why we plan for our futures. We're always looking 5, 10, 20 years out in the future. We're not looking at what's happening today. So even in my own account, I don't look at the bottom line. I just know that this month I have to put X amount of money into my account to invest for my future, meaning in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years out, and how much money that will be then, not how much money it is now. And really, it's on sale. The markets are on sale. What a great time to buy for all of our young investors out there. If you have an extra $50 in your hand, why are you not putting it in the market and buying something amazing and getting it at that discounted price? Because it'll be worth way more in 5 years or 10 years. So plan for the future. And the future in these markets are always 5+ years, we'll call it, at least 5 years. Don't have a short-term mindset and always plan for the future. And that it goes for everything. Whether you're buying a fourplex, you're not just buying your fourplex for the next 6 months or 2 years or 3 years. You're buying it for the future, and you're looking at those internal rates of return, and you're looking at those future projections, and you're trying to figure out how to build your portfolio when that's real estate market out. So you're always looking towards the future, and that's the same in the stock market. Continue to look for the future. Always bet on the American economy. It's always come back greater and stronger than it left. And that's the best recommendations or advice I have for everybody is always plan for the future, and don't be so news media driven, because they drive off of ratings, and then they're like, boy, look at how bad it is today. Well, tomorrow it's down 1,000 points today. Tomorrow it's up 1,000 points. I don't know. So just look out 5 and 10 years in the future, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah, that's great advice. Like, America has become like the day trading capital of the world. Like, everything is in milliseconds, right? Like, oh my God, this is down 50 cents right now. Okay, great. I think you touched on a great point there, is that, if you look at the numbers, and I track very specific stuff. So I'm tracking the VIX, the volatility index. I'm always watching that. I'm tracking the S&P, the Dow, the normal stuff like that, the bond markets, bond yields, and the dollar. And what you just said to young people out there makes tremendous amount of sense. Like, wherever they invest is up to them. I'm not giving financial advice, but you have $50, right? You gave that example. You have $50. It's sitting in cash. Your cash just lost 12%. The dollar is down 12% over the last few months, which is a necessary tool of creating global commerce. Like, the US dollar cannot be at 140 on the DXY. It just can't be, because it'll crush every other economy in the world. So as you watch this dollar decline, which is part of a process in a tariff or trade war, when you watch that, your dollars are losing money. So while the market's dropping, the dollar's dropping. Make your decision. Can the dollar rebound 30%? Probably not. Like, that's not really a good option for global trade. But can a market rebound 30%? Absolutely. Can it go down 30%? Absolutely. So, that is part of it. But look at everything from that 5 to 10 year window. It is so important. I deal with the stuff every day of people going, well, this is down today. I bought it at this and it's here. And I'm like, okay, great.
Well,
Cool
everyone
statement.
has their phone and their apps in their hands and they're watching it daily, and it needles them to death. So listen, you invest for the future. You don't invest for today or just for tomorrow. Invest for 5 years out, invest for 10 years out, invest for 30 years out. And, one of my clients is a young guy, and he wants to start investing. And he's like, he just got a really great job. And what is he going to do? He's going to put $200 a week into his investment portfolio over on Robinhood. And he's like, Reid, what do you think? And I'm like, you know what? This is a great plan for a young kid in his 20s. $200 a week, that's a massive win, because when you look at $200 a week in 30 years, that $200 probably turned into $20, $30, $50,000 a week over the next 30 years. So that's what he's investing in. His $200 today is possibly worth $20,000 in 30 years when he's actually ready to retire. So don't invest today, invest for tomorrow. And if you're going to buy that brand new vehicle and have that $1,400 a month payment, just know that $1,400 a month today is actually costing you that $3 and $5 million in 20 or 30 years, because you could have just invested that and saved your money and paid cash for a car. So these are the important aspects to young investors moving forward. And in my business, I work with high net worth individuals. So it's a little bit different, but for younger investors and people out there watching the markets, sure, watch them, have fun, but buy really great quality investments and hold them for a very, very long time. Use the Warren Buffett method and truly make something for yourself and make something for your future and your family's future. Don't be reactionary like the markets and take the emotion out of it. If you bought a really, really great product, hold on to it for a really long time, weather the markets, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah, time heals all short-term wounds in solid assets. In crappy assets, the wounds were there before you put money in. So make sure you're qualifying all of your assets.
We've all had our oopsies, even I have. So everyone's had their oopsies. We can talk about oopsies one day, but
oopsies on bad assets, oopsies on great assets you thought were dumb. Like I had the Twitter Series A deck. I could have put money in Twitter Series A, and I thought it was the dumbest idea I'd ever heard of. I have so many of these stories of investments I didn't make too. But think about the change in the world. So we're gonna bring this back to TikTok. What happens when our youth stop seeing a bunch of videos of influencers driving Lamborghinis because they made stupid videos and made a lot of money, and they start hearing from people like you, and we start hearing STEM information and investing information? Can you imagine the change that we see in this country? I was such an antagonist of TikTok many years ago. I'm like, this is going to pollute our society, and I was right. It's definitely polluted our society to this point. But look at the change in venue, the change in opportunity, as we're now seeing Americans taking control of this algorithm, and guys like you who are saying, hey, for our youth, let's completely turn things around, right? Let's get them real information that they can build youthful minds into the leaders of the future. And that's what information should be doing. And I think people forget that information has a purpose. Information has become infotainment, and that's what people are looking for. So if we have, and it should be entertaining, like everything should be enjoyable to watch. I don't believe in full entertainment, but imagine what happens. This is just blowing my mind what you're doing, because imagine what happens when the American youth start getting real information, and those young minds start turning, and they start thinking of things that are positive, that can provide a better future for themselves, a better future for their family, future family, our country as a whole. This is maybe the most important topic that I didn't pay attention to until a couple weeks ago when I heard you had your hat in the ring.
That's right.
And when that happened to me, I was like, okay, I'm a TikTok fan now. I know you. So like, if you're involved in this, I'm gonna flow through and support this wholeheartedly, because I know where you stand with ethics. I know where you stand with the country, and I know where you stand as far as a financial future. And it will be nice to actually have a TikTok commercial that tells the truth. They're on TV now, right? So the current model of TikTok advertises, and it has done an incredible job for small businesses. It has really created profit where profit didn't exist for Americans who need it. But that's all the commercials are. There's no commercials about Tide Pod challenges, right? So if we can get rid of that with the youth, because I don't see any 28-year-olds doing a Tide Pod challenge. I just don't do it. I just don't see it. Maybe there will be. But when we start seeing positive impact with those at 28, go ahead. If you want to do a Tide Pod, go for it. But when you're 15, the impressionable minds, now they'll be impressed in the right direction. And with your financial background and education background, This is exciting, Reid. I'm so excited about this.
Well, it should be exciting for our youth. It's the most exciting. Imagine they get to step outside barefoot and feel grass for the first time. It's just an amazing release from these digital chains that they've been locked to for so long. They've been stuck in scrolling. They get to go experience riding a bicycle without shoes and losing a big toenail. What an amazing experience that we've all had that our children never will.
Great example.
There are some really great things out there when we unlock their imagination, when they are exposed to how the financial markets really work, how banks operate, how they can. I saw a video. It was so sad. A kid trying to make a phone call to order a pizza. They just couldn't understand how you order a pizza or what you say. These are things kids should be exposed to. They have no socialization skills because their social media is their socialization. So they get to go outside and experience the world. And then they also get to enjoy an app where they are learning about AI, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. I mean, there's so many robotics. There's so many things out there, finances, how the government actually works. Civics is such an important topic. How these systems work and why we have three branches of government, what our Constitution is and what it says. So many important topics out there for our children that are going to shape the future generations through this app. It's going to be a truly remarkable thing that comes of this, and it's going to make a better society. And I hope it makes people smarter than our team who's developing this concept ever is and ever was or ever wanted to be, because they'll be the futures of tomorrow leading this country. And we want to make sure our country is left in really great, capable hands when we leave. So that's so important to us. We don't want to lose the idea of America or ever have it go away. We're the last beacon of hope. People literally are dying to come here. Literally, they want to be here so bad. They're willing to do anything for it. And we're going through that right now, too, as you see people. This is no other country in the world are people trying to break into. And they're doing that in America for a reason. So let's protect what we have. Let's make sure our children know why it's important and know why they have to protect what we have. And let's keep a rule of laws and a country of laws and rules that apply. And keep our children safe for generations to come. And no longer will China have influence over us. This digital asset is truly a national security interest at this point.
I completely agree with that. And the state of Wyoming has a big hand to play in a topic you just brought up, AI. AI is becoming a mainstream thing. I think just from the guys I know, and some of the guys I know, AI is coming, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. It will be here in 18 months. My guess, 18 months, the entire world will be completely revolutionized, and it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. AI education on how to use AI is super important, but the state of Wyoming is going to play a very large role in the future of AI. AI uses about 12 to 35 times the amount of energy as the traditional internet. And the state of Wyoming, massive natural gas reserves, coal reserves, oil reserves. We're working on an off-grid energy project we're vetting right now in Wyoming using natural gas, which is just incredible how clean the gas is and what you can do with it. As you sit there in Wyoming, very involved in politics, what is the general consensus right now? Wyoming is one of those states that has completely changed in the last 15 years. Everyone used to open up a business in Delaware, and now we're realizing that that's not actually the best place to have a corporation. Now Wyoming is a very popular state for business law. And when that happens, you start to see industries move in there. And the industries that they can provide there are energy. I think most people look at Texas, where I live, as the main energy provider, but Wyoming has a tremendous amount of hydrocarbons, a very, very sophisticated energy infrastructure, strong grid in the area. Yeah. Wyoming right now may play one of the biggest roles. I think if you're in Wyoming and watching this, which reads on here, so you probably are, if you're there, your future is so bright right now. Like there's a lot of these flyover states, which is an offensive term to anybody who grew up in them, by the way. All you coasters that use it like frequently. When I was in California, oh, you're from a flyover state. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I am, but we have good ethics and good people there. Right. But Wyoming is going to play a big role in this because of the energy that you can provide there to AI. Now you're bringing technology to Wyoming. Wyoming is going to be completely revolutionized. I think all the politicians in that state should be totally behind your deal with ByteDance, because when that happens, you're going to need more energy, more power to power the algorithm, power the apps. What is the overall consensus? Are people in Wyoming feeling this? Because outsiders, we're watching it and going, man, some of these states that nobody thought about, South Dakota, Wyoming, these are the future places we're going to be building hundreds of thousands of homes because people will move there for the new jobs.
Well, Wyoming is certainly excited. The people of Wyoming are excited. And so Larry Roden, governor of South Dakota, endorsed us first out of the gate, visionary for these Mountain West states. And we're excited to partner with South Dakota. But Wyoming has AI and quantum computing right here in the state. So does South Dakota.
Yeah.
So having a lot of energy is necessary, and both Wyoming and South Dakota are unique in the ways that they can provide the energy capabilities that we need to run TikTok, data centers, and the entire app, even our AI database and storage plan that we're developing out. The energy is going to be enormous. The cooling factors are going to be enormous, and we're going to be able to get through this. Wyoming is certainly very digitally friendly with, I think it's over 27 new blockchain laws on the book. So we might be the most friendly towards blockchain in the country. It's a great place to do business. It's definitely my home state, so it's where my heart is, and I'm fighting every day for Wyoming to be part of this, and I'm excited to bring this fourth legacy industry, because it's truly going to become a legacy industry that lasts for generations to come, to Wyoming and our surrounding states and throughout the Midwest. It's going to stabilize these economies in a way they never, ever could have realized. And I think the people of Wyoming realize it, at least when I go out grocery shopping or I'm driving across the state and I stop in a gas station. People are always talking about TikTok and want to talk more about it. So the people are excited. And I think they see the vision and they see the future that it has, because it's not only going to stabilize the economies, but they now get to keep their kids and their grandkids right here at home instead of having them move away for really great high-paying careers. So that's an important aspect to all of us homebodies from flyover states. I don't know why they call us that, but that's what they call us. So we'll embrace their term, whatever. We'll own it.
Yeah, it's like deplorable. It's just call us what we are. It's fine. It's cool. Reid, so exciting. And by the way, I'm imagining right now you probably can't go to the grocery store without 500 people asking you about TikTok. So this is so exciting for you. I'm very happy for you. Very excited for the possibilities of this country. I think you're the right guy for this. What a big step up in career too. You're going to go from managing money to a $50 billion CEO. What an amazing thing to go through. It's so good for you and your family. And more importantly, that topic of culture, it just keeps running back into my mind when every time you bring that up. It's so important. I mean, where I'm from, there's like 10 of my high school friends that still live there. The other hundreds of us have moved out into other places in the country, which is also good, right? You've spread culture, but ultimately it doesn't work that way. What do you see happening here with how long will it take for this deal to be approved? What's kind of the red tape, the legislation behind it? What is the bureaucracy you've got to deal with from here?
It's a mountain of bureaucracy. Anyone who's dealt with the federal government realizes that. So once President Trump greenlights it, we're going to start dealing heavily with the regulators, ensuring that the data meets national security standards. There's going to be a lot of things happening in the background. Our offer provides a 6-month due diligence process that we'll work into. So we'll acquire the company and begin due diligence, making sure that the algorithm is secured, making sure that the $50 billion valuation is actually there. The money has to move. There's a lot of moving parts here. The regulators want to have a heavy hand in the things for happening on the national security level as far as data breaches. Sure. And making sure that that data is secure, whether it's in the cloud or in physical storage. We're working very closely with quantum computing companies and AI companies to secure the data and make sure that AI isn't able to breach those firewalls anytime soon. So we want to continue to stay on top of that and truly protect the user's data, because that's what this is about. It's about the American people, making sure they're protected and giving them back their data, because that's truly important to them and how they function and how they're able to monetize their own data for their own good. That's so important to us. It'll revolutionize all of social media once we do this. And we make it so that if you opt in to allow your data to be used in the algorithm, we'll profit share back with you, the user. So where you're giving it away for free on Facebook or even Candy Crush, we're saying, hey, you're going to see the ads and we're going to use this to develop the algorithm further, but we're going to profit share your data back to you. So anything we make from your data, you'll participate in that at a certain percentage level. So that'll be very exciting for the individual who has just the app on their phone. They may not even use the app daily. They just might have it on their phone and use it once in a while. They scroll through some videos. They'll receive some sort of compensation for that data.
Wow, imagine that, right? You're using the internet, you're doom scrolling, and you're receiving money for it. Can you imagine that? What a great reversal.
It'll truly revolutionize all of social media. So they won't even be able to compete. So Meta, I mean, how do you compete with that? YouTube, Google, all of these apps. I don't know how you compete with that. They're going to have to give the users back their data because they're the ones building these apps and building these companies. And the reason they're free to you is because you're the product. That's why these apps are free to you. So we're saying we'll pay you for your data. Let's continue to build the greatest algorithm the world has ever seen. Let's continue to enhance this thing and make it even better. So maybe it's not $1 trillion footprint, it's a $2 or $10 trillion footprint over the next 10 years. It's very exciting things that are happening, and the advancements are coming quickly.
And you hit the nail on the head. We are the product. The data is free. That you get access to. You got to remember, to build Meta or to build any of these platforms, you're talking about sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars in engineering that go into it, and it's free for you to use. They don't make their money on ads. They make their money on selling data. That's your data, your private information, which is why you have all those spooky encounters where you're sitting at home and you're about 10 feet from your phone and you mention, I don't know, you mentioned hamburger or something. And 5 minutes later, you get on your phone and there's an advertisement for a hamburger. That stuff ends when you have privacy because you're in control of your data. So this kind of bleeds into the legislation on the Internet Bill of Rights, which is something very few people talk about. And it might be the most important legislation in this new era that we're heading into. The Internet Bill of Rights gives you the same rights online that you have in the real world, which is really important. One of those rights is the right to privacy. And that's one of the things Reid's going to be doing with this new version of TikTok, is creating true privacy, true control of your data. I don't think people realize how much money is made selling our private information. Do you have like a roundabout idea of how many trillions of dollars are made selling private data?
It's so much. Listen, I can go out and buy a list. I can target you specifically, and buy a list and target to I can just cater to very, very niche markets. So I don't know, maybe I want to find people who still own a Saturn. Remember the car company Saturns? So I can
Good luck.
Find a list specific to people who have interest in Saturns because they're still out there.
Yeah.
And I can buy that list of Americans, and I can cater to only people who still buy Saturn vehicles or have those used vehicles and are connoisseurs of them. And then I can even get more specific and be like only female users. It's very specific, and I can pay for that data. It's a lot. I mean, the market is massive for data. As a business owner, targeting a very niche market of Saturn owners.
Yeah. I mean, you went down the rabbit hole right there. You found the rarest example in the world. If you can find me a female Saturn connoisseur, that is the greatest data in the world. A female Saturn connoisseur. I don't think I've ever heard Saturn and connoisseur.
It's out there. It's a data point out there. Because when I send emails, they collect these emails. So this is like, what is the brand of the first car you ever drove? Like, they're collecting data on you. You're answering these secret questions, and they're collecting data on you. So they know who you are. They know your spending habits. They know your shopping habits. They know your geolocation and where you shop and where you're going next. So that's why when you get in your car and plug your phone in, it says Reid, it's 5:30 at night. It's time to go to the gym, and it gives me directions automatically to the gym without me prompting my phone. It just automatically does this. It's following me. It's nuts.
But it'll also tell you that there are 3 Saturns for sale on the way to the gym for you to purchase.
Yes, and it says, stop and look at these. Which color are you looking for? So I always stop. Please don't send me Saturn advertisements, but I will start seeing Saturn advertisements now. See, so I chose this on purpose. So
yeah, there's no inventory, so you're good.
the data is so important, and then they're using it to advance AI. So let's not forget this. So when you go and you see those pictures, it says choose all the bicycles in the pictures, and you choose those. You're actually feeding the AI your data, saying this is what a bicycle looks like for self-driving cars, possibly, is what I assume. Right. So when the car is driving down the road, it can recognize a stoplight, a bus, a bicycle, a crosswalk. It says choose the crosswalk. These are the reasons these are doing this. These are all data points that are being collected that you are providing your services for free. You're the product, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And you give it to them for free and then they sell it back to you. All I'm saying is we're going to do the exact same thing because this is where we make money. And any money we make from the data, we're going to profit share back with you, the individual. And that's what makes this so valuable to you individually, but also the American people through the Freedom Fund or Sovereign Wealth Fund. I call it the Freedom Fund.
I like Freedom Fund. I like that better.
Stake that we're going to create with President Trump. Truly revolutionizing social media in a way that's safe for everyone. And if you say, Reid, I don't want you to use my data and I'll just live in algorithm hell, basically, meaning my algorithm will consist of whatever random black hole I'm in that day, then opt out and say, don't use my data. And we won't use your data, but you won't get monetized. And that's fine too. We're fine with that.
Yeah,
so
there's plenty of people that'll.
No, we're good with that. But you'll say
but
yes
also,
because you make money.
But a model like this also offsets some of the fear of AI because AI is going to take a tremendous amount of jobs. There's no way around that. And people are worried about how do I make income? Well, your data can produce income for you. That's another way to offset the need for a UBI or something like that. This is revolutionary, Reid. We're about to touch our time, but what a great conversation. Man, I always like talking to you. It's always entertaining. And I'm going to be using the Saturn example. I'm going to a conference later, a blockchain conference later today. I'm going to be using the Saturn example about 4 or 5 times if you don't mind me stealing it. So
yeah, and just credit Reid Rasner buying TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely. How can we support this in any way? I know you guys have your capital in line, you have everything in line. Are there petitions that we can sign for this, or how can people get involved to support your cause?
So go to Founders Talk, Founders plural, FOUNDERS, talk, TOK.com, founderstalk.com. Pledge your support and make videos, make content and put it out there and tell President Trump, this is the offer we want. We want an American first offer. We want to control our data. We want to own our data. We want to monetize our data. Enough of giving it away for free and making these other people rich. We want to monetize our own data and profit share in that with Reid. Let President Trump know you all elected him to the White House. He's listening to you. I know he is.
Yes,
because he sees this stuff. He re-truthed our offer. So I can tell you we're in a pretty good spot with our offer, I think, because he put it out on Truth Social. We're the only offer he did that to.
What kind of deadline do you have? When will you know? When will you have an indication?
Yeah, he gave another 75 days. So I think around June 20th is when that'll expire. So hopefully we know before then and we don't have to go through another extension. We're in close contact with both ByteDance and the administration, and we're working all day, every day on this. So it's late nights, early mornings. The blockchain, the crypto communities, your voices matter. And I'm telling you, get a hold of us because the blockchain technology that we're about to use for this is going to be very important, and how fintech is incorporated into TikTok is going to be very important. I just recently became a member leader with Forbes in the fintech space. So there's some really great advancements and things happening across with this that I can't talk a lot about, but there's some very, very, very important things happening in the fintech space that are going to cross paths with TikTok and the future of Wyoming especially. But I'm now a Forbes member leader on that. So it's very exciting things. And that's a whole nother conversation, but
sure.
Get out there.
We'll have that one. We'll have that one next time.
Yeah. Get out there and have your voices heard. Now's the time, especially if you're in those spaces, because there's going to be some amazing opportunities for all Americans out there pretty soon. I have a feeling.
I love it. Yeah. Next conversation, we're going to talk about the blockchain integration and where that's going, because it is an exciting time. It's a very exciting time for this stuff. If you can, because your securities license, so you can't mention specific names. I'm just going to let you guys know that he's securities licensed. They're not allowed to say Bitcoin. They're not allowed to say any specific crypto. It has to be digital asset or blockchain. That's the only term they can use. That is the restriction. So I'm getting that out there for you, Reid. So exciting time. Founders Talk, TOK at the end. So founders plural talk.com. Go on there, pledge your support. Donald Trump is listening. I think that's very evident with what happened with the world saying we don't want to bomb Iran, and he didn't bomb Iran. He is a populist. A populist by nature will listen to people, voice your opinion, voice your concerns to President Trump. He's one man. There's 350 million, 380 million people in this country. Voice your concerns. The administration is listening. You may not like some of the things they're doing. Let them play out. It's been 4 months of 4 years. We're at, what is that, 10% of the entire time. Give this time to play out. I think what's happening in this country is so exciting. It's going to be very scary because it's new. Everything that's coming is brand new. It's massive change. It's gonna be scary for a period. Like, you have to understand that. Don't be scared of AI. I'm going to say this has nothing to do with you, but get involved with open sourced AI. Open source decentralized AI is crucial to the success of mankind. The more centralized and closed any AI that's administered to the world is, the more controlled it is by someone who isn't you. If it's decentralized, it's open source, you're in control. You have the ability to contribute and manage those things. And working with guys like Reid, who are opening the entire kimono and saying, hey, listen, this is TikTok. I'm sure when the time is right, you're going to go, here's what they've been doing with certainty. Here's what we're doing to change it with certainty. And more importantly, I think TikTokers who are out there making money right now, a lot of people look at that and they're trying to do that. They're not content creators, they're content consumers. I can't imagine a more exciting time for content consumers than a time where they would actually be getting a profit share on their data that's been stolen from them for their entire life, for their entire existence. So Reid, thank you so much for joining us. Man, this is so exciting. I'm so happy for you in this process. I'm also empathetic to you because a deal like this is all consuming for the next 10 years of your life. And right now, right when we hopped on, you're like, I've been on Fox News and all these other places since 3 a.m. That's not going to stop. Pray for Reid. Pray for this team. That they can make it through here and keep their sanity intact, because sleep is going to be at a premium for the next period or season in your life. So Reid, thank you so much, man. How can everybody get a hold of you? How can they get in touch with you? How can they hear your message? Just give them a place where they can find you online.
Yeah, go to Facebook, Reid W. Rasner. So Reid W. Rasner. You can hit me up on Facebook. We're on YouTube, Instagram, and we're on Twitter at Reisner4WY, at Reisner4WY, the number 4. And we're on TikTok. I have a burner phone with TikTok on it. So I'll be on TikTok live tonight, and I go live with large content creators, actually small content creators too. So hit us up over there. I've got the world's greatest social media team that tries to reply to everyone, and there's a lot of messages, but they're working just as hard as I am. I can tell you that. And everyone is working triple time right now. Because there's a lot of interest in this. This is the American first offer, and Americans truly want this offer. So we're excited to bring it to you, and use the hashtag #BuyUsTikTok, #BuyUSTikTok. We're going to make it TikTok American, and go to founderstalk.com, and that's how you find me.
Love it. Love it. Well, Reid, thank you so much, my friend. And God bless you. God bless your team. Best of luck with this acquisition. I think it's one of the more important ones that's happening right now that no one's talking about. So thank you for doing it.
Thank you.